folks, Ariel over here at Fine Myth. It is another snowy day and it's getting almost dark, so it's a good time to come inside. Of course, the days are not very long at this time of year. The sun sets pretty early here up high in the mountains. Anyhow, what I wanted to show you today is I am making a new batch of honey fermented garlic. So this box beside me used to be a box for big timber screws. Anyhow, it's got all of the last garlic cloves that were left from my harvest last year. These mostly tend to be my smallest ones because I mostly tend to be in a hurry when I'm cooking and pick out the biggest ones to use first because they are the fastest to peel. And so about this time of year, I have all of my small ones left. And this is an excellent thing to sit down and do while you listen to a good book or have a conversation with a friend or something, and take some inside time on a cold day. So what I am doing is peeling these, but I am not going to make you watch me do all of that. They're going to all end up in this pint jar. You could use anything. This is a regular canning jar. And I happen to have some of these glass fermenting weights. I use these for making sauerkraut and all kinds of things. They're going to be handy when I get done here. But first I'm going to show you this batch is what it looks like once it's been fermented for a year and a half. So here you can kind of see how the cloves are mostly still under the honey. We've eaten a lot of the honey out of there, so some of them are starting to stick out, but how they've also kind of turned dark, and as they have fermented, that's what it looks like after I made this batch a little over a year ago. And I used the weight while they were still really fresh because they kind of want to float up and pop out of the honey. Once they're fully fermented like this, I guess the honey's saturated into them enough. They don't do that. They don't pop out anymore. And so I just pulled the weight out quite a while ago. But that's what it looks like once it's done. Now we go back to the creating more part. So that's what that looks like after it's done. You can see how the garlic kind of turns dark, and it's just really sweet. It's, if you have a hard time with the flavor and kind of almost burning, but not quite burning, taste of munching a fresh raw garlic clove, this stuff is nothing like that. It's very mellow, very mild. I could eat it, just like candy. I'm also sipping herbal tea because I do a lot of that in the winter. But it's very pleasant, and I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be one. I can just tell you it's something that people have been using for thousands of years, and that I personally use anytime I just feel like I'm coming down with the start of a cold or something. You know how sometimes you get that feeling that something might be starting, it's not quite right. I'll eat a couple, of those garlic cloves with a little bit of the honey with them. Just take those a spoonful, munch it up, and it definitely seems to help. Plus, it's really tasty. So anyhow, I'm just going to be sitting here for a little while, peeling garlic cloves until I get that jar. Well, it'll probably be close to filled up by the time I get through all of these. And then I'm going to pour the honey over, put that little weight on top, and then just put it in the back of the cupboard. So I'll show you that when I get there. It'll probably be a lot darker outside, but I'm going to be here peeling garlic for a little while. Okay, so I've got all of my garlics peeled there. This is raw honey from somebody else local in the area. Getting our own bees is on my wish list. It was actually on the to-do list for this summer, and we just got too busy with everything else and it didn't happen. Anyway, so I'm just going to carefully, so I don't make a mess, pour some honey over that. Give it some time to kind of blurp down in and get around all the garlic cloves, because that takes a minute because it's a little thick. Your honey may be a little more liquid. Mine's often pretty thick because the cupboards stay fairly cool here. And so I think that's going to do it. It thickens up a little bit. Anyway, so that's raw, unfiltered, local honey. Then I'm going to use my little weight just to keep the cloves right down under the honey, and put the lid on. You can put a date on it and then just ignore it. I would let it go. I think I did at least a month last time before eating any cloves out of there to give the the honey time to fully get in there and the enzymes in both the honey and the garlic to do their thing. A month in, it's not going to be as dark as this stuff looks, but it will be starting to turn colors a little bit. Anyway, that's how I make honey fermented garlic. So there's my new batch for the year. Over here at Fineth, thank you so much for watching these videos and spending some of your very valuable time choosing to do that. We hope you found something that was useful, educational, helpful, maybe save someone else some time and trouble, or just something just plain beautiful. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe and hit the bell. And thanks for coming along on our journey as we build a new little homestead with our tiny house and everything to come.